The farmer laments when the rain fails, but the suitor gets disappointed when the rain destroys his appointments. You're welcome to section 22 of chapter 4 of the Holy Quran. However, before that, I have to correct something uh, about the notes, the last note I read in that section, and that was note 656. In fact, the very last sentence ends with all three amount to unbelief and not account to unbelief. Amount to unbelief, for they really deny God's universal love and care. I think for a better understanding, I should start the whole note again. Mm. Let's go. Unbelief takes various forms. Three are mentioned here. One, denial of God and his revelation to mankind through inspired men. Two, a sort of nominal belief in God and his prophets, but one which is partial and mixed up with racial pride, which does not allow of the recognition of any messengers beyond those of a particular race. And three, a nominal belief in universal revelation, but so hedged round with peculiar doctrines of exclusive salvation. But it practically approaches, it practically approaches to a denial of God's universal love for all mankind and all creation. Now we go to the last part. All three amount to unbelief, for they really deny God's universal love and care. My apology to my viewers. So instead of all three amount to unbelief, I read it as all three account to unbelief. My knees are down to you for you. Now we can go to section 23, which begins with sign 151. يسألونك أهل الكتاب أن تنزل عليهم كتابا من السماء. The people of the book ask thee, Muhammad, to cause a book to descend to them from heaven. But even when the book descends, they will not uh, change their nature. It will not change them. They will ask for more and more and more miracles. Mm. Okay, now, من السماء فقد سألوا موسى أكثر من ذلك. Uh, they asked Moses for an even greater, into brackets, greater miracle. They asked Moses for even, they asked Moses for an even greater miracle. Miracle is in brackets. Mm. For they said, فَقَالُوا أَرِنَا اللَّهُ جَهْرَةً. For they said, show us God in public. Mm? So that was the command or the demand of the Jews from Moses, but from Muhammad, they asked for a book to descend from heaven. What a troublesome nation. What a troublesome nation. Mm? All right. أكثر من ذلك جهرة. فأخذتهم الصاعقة فأخذتهم الصاعقة بظلمه. Did I do? For they said, show us God in public. Very good. So فأخذتهم صاعقة بظلمه. That's where we are going now. But they were seized for their presumption, بظلمه, for their presumption by thunder and lightning. الصاعقة. By thunder and lightning. Yes, Asaikatu or Asaikat. Thunder and lightning for their presumption. They were seized by thunder and lightning. ثم أتخذوا الإجلة من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات. Let me take it again. ثم أتخذوا الإجلة من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات. Yet they worshipped the calf, al-ijla. Yet they worshipped the calf, al-ijla, even after clear signs had come to them. Min ba'da ma ja'athum al-bayinatu, even after clear signs had come to them. فَأَفُونَا عَنْ ذَلِكَ. Sorry, فَأَفَوْنَا عَنْ ذَلِكَ. Even so, we forgave them. Even so, we forgave them. فَأَفُونَا عَنْ ذَلِكَ. Even then, God forgave them. And they worshipped the calf and told Moses to where is it? And worship, when they worship the calves, God forgave them. وَأَتَيْنَا مُوسَى سُلْطَانًا مُبِينًا. وَأَتَيْنَا مُوسَى سُلْطَانًا مُبِينًا. And even though we forgave them and gave Moses manifest proofs of authority. We gave Moses manifest proofs of authority. وَأَتَيْنَا مُوسَى سُلْطَانًا مُبِينًا. Manifest mubinan, sultanan, authorities. There is a note to read, 657, Jaharatan, when they asked God to, when they asked Moses to show God to them in public, and God still forgave them. God still forgave them for that. They said that, and then they worshipped the calf, and God still forgave them. So two sins, asking God to asking Moses to show God publicly, and then worshiping the calf when they are not supposed to do that. God still forgave them. That's where we are going. 5, 6, 7. Compare chapter 2, Psalm 55, for the thunder and lightning which affected those who were presumptuous enough to ask that they should see God face to face. And 251 and note 66, for the worship of the golden calf. Well, viewers can go there. I don't think we need to. We are already told that these sentences are repeated there. The worship of the calf and the showing of God in public. They are mentioned in these references. Okay, then paragraph 2 after that. The lesson is that it is presumptuous. The lesson is that it is presumptuous on the part of man to judge of to judge of spiritual things in terms of material things, or to ask to see God with their material eyes. With their material eyes, when God is above material forms and is independent of time and space. Mm. So the word here, material eyes, is important because you can see God without your eyes. You can just imagine that He's the center. But to see God with the material eyes, bringing them down, mm, bringing God down for them to look at like this, see the sun and the moon and the skies, that is not acceptable. Okay. And that was note 657 to sign 153. Let's go to the next sign, which is, oh no, we haven't finished it yet. Have we? Yes, we finished it. Let's go to sign 154. ورفعنا فوقهم الطور بميثاقهم ورفعنا فوقهم الطور بميثاقهم. And for their covenant, we raise over them the mount, into brackets, Sinai, Mount Sinai. When you say the mount, it means Sinai. And for their covenant, we raised over them the mount, into brackets, Sinai. وقلنا لهم ادخلوا الباب سجدا وقلنا لهم ادخلوا الباب سجدا. And for no. And on the other occasion is in brackets because this is different subjects or subject altogether. But without it, it is. And we said, of course, on another occasion different from this one. On another occasion different from this one. We said, enter the gate with humility. Idhulu al-baba sujadan. Where is it? وقلنا لهم لا تعدوا في السبت وقلنا لهم لا تعدوا السبت. We said no. And once again is in brackets. And without it, it reads, and we commanded them, kulna lahum, we commanded them, transgress not in the matter of the Sabbath. La ta'udu fi sabti. Wa ahazna minhum mithaqan galizan. وأخذنا منهم ميثاقا غليظا. And we took from them a solemn covenant. Note 658 is against Mount Sinai. It's against the mount or Mount Sinai. Note 6, 9. We raise over them the mount. 6, 5, 8. 6, 5, 8 rather. Uh, in this verse, there is a recapitulation of three salient incidents of Jewish of Jewish refractoriness. Am I reading right? Of Jewish refractoriness. Mm. Okay, I think it's better for other people, for many people to say, of Jewish refractoriness. Already referred to in the second surah, and that's namely uh, in the second surah, already referred to in the second surah, column. One, the covenant under the towering height of Sinai. Two, 63, 263. You can find that in chapter 2, Psalm 63. Then two, their arrogance, where they were commanded humility in entering a town. Sujadan, humility in entering a town. Uh, and that can be found in chapter 2, Psalm 58. Column. And three, their transgression over the Sabbath. That can be found in chapter 2, Psalm 65. Let's go to the next sign, which is sign 155. Sign 155. فبما نقص فبما نقدهم ميثاقهم وكفرهم بآيات الله فبما نقدهم بميثاقهم وكفرهم بآيات الله. And in the interpretation side, it begins with brackets. They were incurred, so they have incurred divine displeasure. All this is in brackets. They have incurred divine displeasure. Column. In what? In the day, it was in that they broke their covenant. Fabima nakdihum mitakan, covenant. Nakdihum break. They broke their covenant. وَكُفْرُهِمْ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَكُفْرُهِمْ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. That they rejected the signs of God. كُفْرُهِمْ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. They rejected the signs of God. آيات الله. وَقَتْلِهِمْ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. وَقَتْلِهِمْ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ. Signs of God. That the signs of God, that they slew the messengers in defiance of right, began a lie, in defiance of right. وَقَوْلِهِمْ وَقَوْلِهِمْ قُلُوبُنَا gulfan, not gulfan, gulfan, sorry, right. وَقَوْلِهِمْ قُلُوبُنَا gulfun. And that they said, وَقَوْلِهِمْ, that they said, our hearts are the weapons. Kulubuna gulfan are the weapons. Our hearts are the weapons. Yes, that's it. Gulfan. Yeah, gulfan. No, not gulfan. Gulfan. I've been making these mistakes. Pardon me. Eh, وقولهم قلوبنا غلف. Our hearts are weapons. بل طبع الله بل طبع الله عليها بكفرهم. بل طبع الله عليها بكفرهم. Nay, God had set the seal on their hearts. But nay, God had set the seal on their hearts. But taba'a Allah set a seal alayha bikufrihim. Nay, God has set a seal in their hearts. Fala bikufrihim, in their hearts, bikufrihim, for their blasphemy. Bikufrihim, for their blasphemy. Bikufrihim, for their blasphemy. فلا يؤمنون إلا قليلا. فلا يؤمنون إلا قليلا. For and little is it they believe, and little is it they believe. فلا يؤمنون إلا قليلا. There is a sign to read. There is a note to read, and that is note 661. Note 661 is against weapons. Our hearts are weapons. Let's see, maybe we are going to be told what that means. No, there is a first sign to read. Before that, there is another sign, and that is 569. No, two signs. We have two signs before that. In other words, we have three signs. No, pardon me. We have two notes before that. In other words, we have three notes to sign 155. Well said now. 659, 660, and 661. Let's go to 659. It's against, they have incurred divine displeasure in that they broke their covenant. It concerns the breaking of covenant. 659. In verses 155, 156, 157, 160, latter half of 160, and 161 with parenthetical clauses, including those in verses 158 stroke 159 and 160 into brackets first half of 160 into brackets first half. There is a catalog of the iniquities. There is a catalog of the iniquities of which the Jews were guilty. And for these iniquities, we must understand some such words as column. They are under divine displeasure. That was what I said is in brackets in Psalm 155. In 155, and they are under divine displeasure. And all this is in double inverted commas in the note. But in the translation of the sign itself, it is in brackets. So they have incurred divine displeasure in brackets in sign 1555. And when we come to the note, it is in double inverted commas. They are under divine displeasure. Each clause of the indictment I have indicated by prefixing the word that, and that is also in double inverted commas. Now we go to note 660. Note 660 is against in defiance of right, killing God's messengers in defiance of right. And here we asked to compare chapter 3, Psalm 21, and note 363 and 6, note 363 and 634. I don't know if we can do that. Chapter 3, Psalm 21. Mm. Okay, let's go straight to the notes. I think it's 363 and 364. 363 and 364. To see what is there for us. This is 363. Yeah, the main sign. Let's read the sign there. Uh, Sign 21 of uh, chapter 3, Surah Al Imran. Sign 21. What does it say? As to those who deny the signs of God, and in defiance of right slay the prophets, and slay those who teach just dealing with mankind. It hasn't stopped. It's happening today. The Jews have been slaying people. So many leaders with the support of Americans. So you can see this is Quranic. And slay those who teach just dealings with mankind. Announce to them a grievous chastisement. Mm, mm. Uh, فَبَشِّرْهُمْ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Announce to them a grievous chastisement. I don't know if that's all the comparison. And then 6 4. 6 4. Just dealing with mankind. And that's it. We've combined 6363 and 634. Let's go back to the main comment. We've done it. Note 663. We are asked to compare note 636. We are asked to compare note 363 and 364. We've done it in chapter 3, sign 21. You see that the words were repeated there, as in 155. Let's now go to the third note to that sign, 155. And that is 661. And that concerns rappens. Our hearts are the rappens. 661. Here, no, 661. We are asked to compare again. Compare chapter 2, Psalm 88, and its note 92, where the full meaning is explained, rappens. The full meaning is explained. I don't know if we can go there, but let's continue. The note isn't finished yet. When we finish and there is time, we can go back to see what rappens are, what that sentence concerning rappens are. So let's go to the note now. Note the note the crescendo, not the crescendo, into brackets, heightening effect. Without the heightening effect, it reads, note the crescendo in the argument. Their iniquities were, 1, that they broke their covenant. 2, that they rejected God's guidance as conveyed in his signs. 3, that they killed God's messengers and incurred a double guilt, namely that of murder and that of deliberate defiance of God's law. And 4, that they imagined themselves arrogantly self-sufficient. It's happening today. The Jews think they are self-sufficient until Iran pounds them and destroys their structures. That they found themselves arrogantly self-sufficient. Oh my God. And this book was written long, long time, 1,400 years ago. They found themselves self-sufficient, comma, which means a blasphemous closing of their hearts. That's rampant. A blasphemous, a blasphemous closing of their hearts. And this is referring to the rampants. Forever against of their hearts forever. The blasphemous closing of their hearts forever against the admission of God's grace. I love this commentary. Full stop. Then begins then begins another. Then begins another series of iniquities from a different point of view. Semicolon. One, that they rejected faith. Two, that they made false charges against a saintly woman like Mary. I see. So the false charges of the Jews didn't start today. You just make a false charge on you and slay you and destroy your country and bring problems to the people of various nations, many nations in the world. Mhm. Uh, Two, that they made false charges against a saintly woman like Mary, who was chosen by God to be the mother of Jesus. Three, that they boasted of having killed Jesus when they were victims of their own self hallucination. They boasted of killing Jesus when they did not. Ma salabuhu or ma kataluhu. They did not hang him. They did not kill him. Mm, Hallucination. Then four, that they hindered people from God's way. And five, that by means of usury and fraud, they oppressed their fellow men. Oh my God. And this has happened today. They've done it till today. When I say today, you know what I mean. Until Iran comes out by the power of God to show them the lesson, to let them taste what they have been given other nations. And that is the end of note 661. Okay, let's go, and I think we have time. Let's go and see what rampants means in chapter 2, sign 88 and note 92. Let's do that. And then chapter 2, sign 88. 2, sign 88. Yeah, with no. Yeah, we are there. Chapter 2, sign 88, and its note 92. The sign first. They say our hearts are the weapons, into brackets, which preserve God's word. We need no more, all in brackets. The main thing is they said that our hearts are weapons. Then we have in brackets, which preserve God's word, column, we need no more, brackets close. Brackets close. Nay, God's curse is on them for their blasphemy. Little is it they believe. Now let's go to the notes. It's 9:2. It has two notes, 9:2 and 9:3, but we're only told to refer to 92. So let's go there, 92. The Jews, in their arrogance, claim that all wisdom and all knowledge of God were enclosed in their hearts. So, and unless they open their hearts, nobody will get God's knowledge or wisdom. Mm? Full stop. But there were more things in heaven and earth than were dreamt of in their philosophy. In their philosophy, full stop. Their claim was not only arrogance, but blasphemy. Full stop. Mm. In reality, they were men without faith. Full stop. Into brackets, I take gulfun, that's rappens. I take gulfun. Gulfun is I in italics. I take into brackets, I take gulfun here to be the plural of gulafun, the wrappings or cover of a book in which the book is preserved. So their hearts represented a book with its cover. The heart with the wrappings is like a book with its cover, yes, or the book in its cover. The heart in wrappings is like a book in its cover. Uh, uh, as usual, there is a much wider meaning. How many people at all times among all nations close their hearts to any extension of knowledge or spiritual influence of some little fragment, because of some little fragment which they have got and which they think is the whole God's truth. So man acquires a little knowledge and he thinks he's the best. Nobody above him. Because of God's truth. Such an attitude shows really want of faith and is blasphemous limitation of God's unlimited spiritual gift to his creatures. Full stop. Then, uh, this is in, I wouldn't call it brackets. I don't know the name viewers, but it's in, let me call it brackets, another form of brackets. According to another view, the verse, according to another view, the verse refers to the Jewish claim that a covenant had been placed over their hearts, which prevented them from grasping the message of the prophet, peace be unto him. So various views are there ascribed to the rabbins. There are various views. At least we have got two here. Uh, from grasping the message of the prophet, peace be unto him. Full stop. See Ibn Kathir's commentary on the verse. Full stop. See also verse 4155. That's where we are referred to from. Verse 4155. We've done it already. And I think 155, that's where we are. Rapper 661. So we've done the reference. We are asked to refer to chapter 2, uh, sign 88, which we have done. Yeah, chapter 2, sign 88, which we have done. We are not asked to go to 63, and we won't do it because we haven't been asked to do that. So, uh, so we've got a full meaning of repentance here. Their hearts are either protected from getting God's message, or the hearts are enclosed. They have knowledge and wisdom enclosed in their hearts that they if they want they give out. If they don't want, they don't give out, and that is blasphemy. That is blasphemy. Okay, I think that's all. We shall end here at sign 155 of chapter 4 of the Holy Quran. When we come back in our next episode, we shall go to sign 156, God willing. Thank you very much. Bye bye. May God be with you all.